Thank you for letting me know.
You're welcome.
Where's the?
Okay.
I don't think no, we're good.
He's late.
I'm gonna go to the.
He's like, I was like,
Evan's not here.
no,
He's coming. He's coming.
Where'd your glasses go?
I lost them.
We'll have to contact that going.
Good,
I
actually.
know, I was like,
Lost them.
yesterday, I saw you, no, I saw like Matson and Peter, and you were walking with them, I was like, who is that?
Oh.
How are we supposed to know what these taste like?
It's
Still
gonna take like 2 weeks for us to
Tastes
come to.
sour. Still in Helen?
Huh?
Still in Helen? Yeah.
No.
Can you
I
see?
just wrote acidic
Yeah,
and
I'm
honest.
perfect.
Oh, dude. That'd be brutal.
Except
You
Yes.
lost your glasses.
No.
It just sucks. It's got
it gives off.
That'd be brutal.
What does it give off? Gas. I have no idea. Bubbles. Is this all it? I'm not a stylist.
No, acid.
I
thought it was- I thought it was-
this happened in grade 10 too.
I broke them.
Yeah, it should be there.
You totally stepped on them or some shit like that.
Fair enough.
You want to be? It's so cool. You can find that thing and then it's just, and you're not doing it.
This is bad.
It's so nice. Acid.
Fuck it. Come on, give me this. Give me this.
Let's see. Oh, I've heard that one. Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not gonna lie. Your wet slips are-
Okay. Portia. Acids.
I can't.
Less than or greater than 7. Portia. No. Acids greater than or less than 7 for pH.
Oh, isn't it less than?
Yeah, it is less than. So pH is less than 7, which makes, of course, base is greater. As we're going to learn, that's not arbitrary, and that is not a random point like 0 in Celsius. That is a mathematical derivation. Isabel, where's Isabel? Your attendance. Karis, how do they taste? Pardon? Yeah. How do bases taste?
Don't they do bitter?
Bitter. Coffee's bitter because it's a little basic, like pumpkin spice. Speaking of coffee being bitter, it also contains caffeine. Caffeine is bitter. You can make caffeine that is so powerful that you never have to drink another cup of coffee again. Add an extra phosphate, and it will stay in your bloodstream forever. And you'll die from lack of sleep. How do you define an acid? Hannah. Is Hannah back? I gave her the point already. I'll have to take it away. Cole? Well, how do you know something? What is it chemically? What does it give off? How do you know what an acid is? Like of all of these things, it gives off hydrogen. And what does a base give off? It helps if you know that one of the products of an acid-base reaction is that.
Oxygen.
And you've already given away this.
Oh,
Pardon?
Hydroxide.
Hydroxide. So OH minus. I should pick a different color. Yellow. Yellow's neutral. We're going to learn this year that it's not just hydroxide. A base is also something that accepts hydrogen. Preston. What do acids react with? They are an ion, and they certainly react with ions because they react with hydroxide. But what are these? You would have seen this reaction last year, I'm pretty sure. Bubbles in, and then the teacher does something on top of the test tube, and it goes chirp. have to get one. What's the chirp reaction? Mm.
Never heard of the chirp reaction.
Yes, you have. Lies. Fine. I'm not going to tell you then. Mia, how do bases feel? This is a hint. How does soap feel? Slippery. I think I've mentioned before the scariest feeling I've ever had in the lab is when I've gone like this and it's like there's no friction. It's so slippery because the base is turning my skin into soap. If you take fat and you add base, you make soap. That's why it feels slippery. It is literally making soap out of your flesh. One of the ways you get a natural preservation with people that have died, this can happen in certain caves, depends what the pH of the water is that their body will slowly turn to soap, saponification, and preserve a lot of their features for quite a long time. B. So it causes certain organic dyes to change. For example, phenolphthalein, when it's pink, will turn
Blue.
the one that you use that's pink. What's the other color it turns?
Blue.
No,
Blue. How am I supposed
that's worth
to
a
know
point
this?
anyway.
Orange.
Not orange. Please get out your data tables. We've used phenolphthalein so often.
Red.
No,
Purple.
no.
Orange.
Stop.
How
Get out your
is
data
this
tables.
yellow?
Data tables.
Can you pass me a data table? Can I also have a data table? White. Clear.
Clear.
That's not a color. That's yeah, clear is not a color.
Technically, it is.
No.
It is a hair. It is a color in the same way that baldness is a hairstyle.
So can you wear clear?
Can you see clear?
No.
Yes.
No.
Then you're literally in your
If
observation.
it's clear, you can't see it.
Well, we see black.
No, but you write it down.
You just know it's there. No, you don't write clear. You write no change.
No. As you will see from your feedback in your lab. No, you don't.
No.
Because no change means what exactly? What was it before?
It doesn't even say it.
A useful page for you. Maybe this page. Acid-base indicators. We do it later, but it has phenolphthalein, and it tells you it goes from colorless to pink. We've used this almost every lab since grade 9. Anytime you have an indicator, we use phenolphthalein. So it goes from colorless to pink and back again. I thought you'd know it. My assumption. I am sorry. So pink phenolphthalein turns clear in acid. So they change color. Notice the U. And reacts with certain metals to produce hydrogen gas, which is the chirp test. And anybody else? What is limestone?
Limestone?
Yeah,
Limestone.
what's limestone?
Limestone.
It's a rock.
It's
What ions are in that rock? B?
is it like
O C A C.
Good, gotta have it. Oh, excellent. Got the other half. Limestone will bubble if you add acid to it because it turns in to produce CO2. The CO2 will pop off of that, and you'll end up with a calcium oxide, CaO. And what are acids most famous for reacting with, Nicholas? Yes, you do. Acid and literally a type of reaction. Base, yeah. Base. Acids and bases react to form salts and water. What color does it turn litmus paper? Declan.
You had it for like a week long. Like 5 days. Same.
Declan. What color does it turn litmus paper?
Oh, red.
Red, thank you. If you have not had this, then acid turns red in litmus paper. I almost wrote the D again. Oh, and the last one there. Naomi,
How am I supposed to know that?
you can't. You can't. It just gives me an opportunity to say electrolytes.
What?
What?
Acids are electrolytes. What's an electrolyte? We did it in solubility. No. But in biology, you would have a lot about water absorption and electrolyte. They're salts. What is an electrolyte? Ion. So electrolytes are just ions. Famously, I think they're now being sued over it, or at least getting in trouble. But Prime Energy Drink managed to circumvent Canada's salt content laws for putting in an obscenely unhealthy amount of salt by just reclassifying them on the label as electrolytes. Because salt is an electrolyte, and people tend to think that electrolytes are good. So the other one, Naomi, would have been impossible. Any one of those.
Turns litmus paper blue.
There you go. Nice. So a base turns litmus paper blue. As I've already said, they feel slippery and soapy because they react with oil and fat. And they make soap out of it. As in the movie Fight Club. It's a great touch point movie. If the person that you are with thinks that the protagonist is the hero, back away slowly. Cause certain organic dyes to change color. Notice the U. If you spell it any other way, it's spelled wrong. And what does colorless phenolphthalein turn, Marcus?
I don't know. Pink.
Pink. Why do you say I don't know first? I don't know. I don't know. Pink?
Knew if I had to tell.
What? You didn't say anything.
Well done. Well done. I'm giving him your point.
What?
Yeah.
You didn't say anything.
And then,
I said
Evan,
You didn't. I swear.
Evan?
I didn't hear you.
but because you're so good, what's that one? With no clue whatsoever.
Oh.
No, like you literally can get it. I was actually expecting you to be really clever and get it and then be like, whoa.
What?
Naomi?
Is it electrolyte?
It's electrolytes. Well
Oh.
done. Ha ha. So this is, with the possible exception of, come on.
What? One salt, water.
What do,
Just a few.
what does it react with to form salts and water?
Acid.
Acid.
What about the ones you missed in the acid area?
I missed nothing. Did I miss anything?
Did I miss something?
Oh, that's just for the word gas. I put it as a symbol, so that's fine. Anybody other ones? Other than the one I highlighted, that's a particular definition of acids and bases we're going to do this year. Everything else is what hopefully you picked up in Chem 10 and Chem 11. And if you did not, here it is. The pH scales, we're going to discover this midpoint of 7 isn't arbitrary. The midpoint of 0 in the Celsius scale, for example, why did we pick 0? Pardon? Freezing point of water, just useful. They picked the 0 of Fahrenheit for the same thing. It was the coldest temperature they could make artificially in a lab. So it was just useful. That's as cold as we can go. Nature can go colder, we can't. But it was temporary because it was based on tech. The Celsius one is based on a condition on planet Earth, so it's useful here, not necessarily everywhere else. There is an actual 0, absolute 0, which I'm sure you have heard of. What is absolute 0?
0 Kelvin.
0 Kelvin, what is it in Celsius?
Negative 273.
273.
Yeah.
Negative 273. You're doing from the boiling point down, I think, which you often use in calculations. Yeah, so negative 2, which is not that cold when you think about it. You can get 800 degrees Celsius easily. Like, you can raise the temperature quite a bit. But you can't get that cold. Negative 273, that's the limit. What's the hottest you can be? Other than myself, of course. That laugh was a little too hard. Yeah. What's the hottest you can be? What is absolute 0? Why is it so cold? You can't get colder, but what has to happen for you to not be able to get colder?
It has to be quite cold.
Yes, that is true. What's happening to the molecules? If they have any temperature at all, what are the molecules doing? They're moving. So at absolute 0, what are they? They're not moving. We can't get there because of certain Heisenberg type laws and that says that they always have to move. But
Wait, so
if you could get there, it would literally mean everything would stop moving. So what's the fastest you can go?
speed of light.
Speed of light. So whatever temperature that would be, that would be a maximum hotness. I have no idea what that would be. We have to hit someone with something going near the speed of light to find out. Electrolytes, our definition.
Light.
We do have people who burn their eyes out by looking at things that go into the speed of light. Electrolytes form ions in solution and conduct electricity. And hopefully I am making up for how late I was. Let's write some balanced equations. Start off nice.
Because it uses derivatives. The erg uses derivatives because it can't, because you need to tell, like 500 meter, you don't do 500 meters and it tells you yours. Like it shows you your 500 meters split in the middle, like a 1K for example, which is using a derivative. But I don't know if they're using it for that. Yeah.
Okay. Write out and balance the reactions for the base and for the acid. Fill in an appropriate acid and a base. And I'm going to put you in groups. Who is not here? Elena's not here. Evan, Hannah's back. Preston. Isabel's not here. Marcus, Matt, Mia, and Nicholas Bush. No, we're mostly all here. Nope.
Go back for like 10 seconds.
No. I don't have to. Because I'm the teacher. And select, no, toolkit. Group maker. 2. Go write some equations on the board.
Wait, what are the last two?
What do you mean with the last two? You have to fill them in. Choose your own acid or base.
Oh, I see. That's cool.
Yes, I can. Has everybody got their partner? This is also hopefully a review, because we're going to do different kinds of acids and bases. But for now, you may use the hydroxide definition unless you're very clever. Evan, who are you with? Thanks. There's also the two glass areas as everybody crowds into the room. Preston, don't forget to balance the first one. I know. Made you look.
Just maple water, and then whatever's left.
Double bath and there's 4 H's. Yeah, that would help. There's 2 of those as well. 4 H's still there. Then you should do K's.
NA has a +1 and
No.
Why is there no?
I think the first one's done well across the board. Well done. Also a reminder, we're writing them in order. Do they have to be written in this order, like normally? No, you could write them water and salt. I just want them in this order so I can see that you know what a salt is. H2SO4.
Does that work? No, wait, make this 2 and then it
First of all, crap, that is it. You're about to die by radiation because you have polonium, which is incredibly radioactive. You have P small. That should be P large. And then yes.
H3PO4.
What's phosphate? Good. Pull your data table. There are certain ones you should never change. Phosphate. Although.
Oh, is it PO4?
Go ahead. Council, don't leave. Don't leave me. Excellent. Don't forget the balance. No, the one above it. Do. You haven't balanced the one above it either. Marty? You haven't balanced the one above it either.
Yeah, this is accurate.
There's 3 of these. There's 6 of these.
Perfect.
everybody can do. Oh, darn. Seems to be the most popular. Yeah.
Okay, well, some people are not. I don't want to assume. Okay. Did you feel so aggressive?
Ooh, I like that one. That Naomi, your fourth one can work, but you're missing a charge on the acid. Pardon? It could. That would work too. Yeah. It's either H2CO3 or HCO3. Mine does. Yep. Yeah, I like this because you used H2CO3 there. It made it a little more complicated. Rather than the ones that chose HCl. In fact, I'm going to use yours as the example. Well done. No biggie. Yep, I did that.
Oh.
Do you not like to do the double-sided arrow anymore?
Oh, none of these. We haven't done that yet, but yes. These are probably the most complicated thing you ever saw in grade 10. Because acid and base always had this funny little balancing. Some of you may have noticed in that acid gives off H, base gives off hydroxide. So it helps if you just look at those, because if you have one of those and one of those, then you're going to make one water. H plus OH is HO, and then you make one water, HO, because that's actually HO. And you combine the other things. This is one of those, but it has two acids because it's H2. So you're going to need two of those, which will make two waters. This has three, so you're going to need three of those because it only has one hydroxide, so you're going to make three waters. This has two, but that also has two and two, so you're going to make two of those. If you notice that kind of pattern and you're just focusing on the part that the acid gives off, it makes the balancing a little easier. So some people going for 6 things, and when you're doing that, it's because you're focusing on that hydrogen and that water, and you're forgetting about that hydrogen. And so if you're just focusing on the HOH, it makes it a little bit easier. Remember in solubility where I said that's an electrolyte because it's ionic, but that's not. Does anybody remember why that's not? It's molecular. It's an alcohol. Alcohols are covalent. This is ionic, so it separates into Na plus OH minus, which your solubility now should help with. Whereas that has no solid part with a charge. It's entirely molecular. If you drink it, you'll turn blind. Actually blind, not like the rumors of other things, because that is methanol or wood alcohol. Add another carbon to it and make it CH3CH2OH, and you have drinking alcohol. Which could technically also turn you blind, but it takes a lot more of it. And before you go blind, you actually would stop breathing because it inhibits your ability to have a reflex at high enough levels. Speaking of which, as you go off into break, please don't leave anybody alone. And if you're already starting in the end of your parties, if someone is unconscious, make sure they are in the recovering position on their side so that if they throw up, they don't throw up in the back of their throat. The reason now why alcohol in high amounts and you're passed out can be so deadly is because actually you've heard that alcohol is a depressant. That doesn't mean it makes you depressed. It means it slows down your reflexes. It literally depresses your brain reactions. And so you don't have a coughing reflex or not a stronger one. And so when you do fill up with vomit, you don't cough it out and then you just suffocate. So don't leave someone alone. If you ever think maybe we should call 911, call 911, no matter your age. We're going to stop there. And you can get out your data booklet. Before I give you your quiz, your quiz is on the front. It's only 2 questions, 1 multiple choice and 1 long answer. Now I'm going to part mark it, but in order to give you feedback very quickly, I'm also going to have you enter what you think the right answer for the long answer is on your multiple choice answer sheet. So if you think your answer is 1.23 times 10 to the minus 16, you will see a lot of bubbles. It goes negative sign, decimal, E, 0, 1, 2, 3. Negative sign and decimal are probably self-explanatory, but E, like it does in your calculator, means times 10 to the whatever it happens to be. So if you had to enter in 1.23 times 10 to the minus 16, you would enter in 1. Point. Point. 2. 3. And then you enter in E. Now, do you have to go 1, 0? No, because that means times 10 to the. So you go E minus 1, 6. And so you do all of that. So this is all E. Okay? And that just allows me later on, after this class, when you go away, I will scan through these because your quiz test is coming up, and then I'll go through and mark them. But if you want to see a mark on zip grade really quickly, and you didn't have time to come back later on, I should have them back by the end of next block and your earlier one so that you can come and fill them up.
Can we come during next block?
I'm going to start marking the next block. I was going to mark them last night, but events happened and I ended up in Mr. Sullivan's office this morning, so that's why I was late for class. So, no, it wasn't that much. It's just.
I think Rogers still more.
Pardon?
Rogers cooked up 5 suspensions last night.
What? Okay. Anyway, spread out. Also, spread out. What are you doing? Spread out. Put away your books. No, I would imagine you would. Bro, what? The quiz is on one side, and your bubble sheet is on the other.
Are we gonna get the other quiz back?
Yes, if you come back after next block. Just wait back.
I'm leaving like after.
Well, it'll be on zip grade 2. Put away your phones. Not in your pocket. In your bag, or I have to take it away. And then I'll make everybody put it back in it. I'll say it's Evan's rule. You can't have headphones in your ear because people are whispering instructions.
Maybe listening to like a podcast.
I always say things like it's somebody to a phone. I don't actually put it in your grade unless it's something.
Also, you owe me money. It's completely fair. Okay,
So,
I
like,
offered
I
you a
don't,
piece.
like, it's a quick,
And you
you're
took
gonna
like
do the test,
6.
if it turns out it helps you because you did better on this than the test.
Fully, I took 1. There was, I know, I saw it on the desk, but everything was really.
Because if I,
Oh, someone
if I
else. There was
say
2
it
left.
can and
There was
never
2
help
left.
out,
Someone else. When it was
the
on
effort
I just
goes
on
down.
the desk, so yeah, I don't know. Wasn't my script. That's all.
Once you have the bubble sheet, you actually have your quiz.
Okay. I know. Why did I keep putting that?
You guys need this credit. I will cut down the entire course to increase your grade by 0.1%.
Still, I know this thing. I don't use this thing.
There.
He's literally just explaining how to use calculator. Very different.
Evan, Marcus, quiz is on. You cannot talk. Or I'll move.
Which side is your quiz? Which side is your quiz?
Waiting for it to do. Alright, so that's over.
What? So you can just sit here. It's too easy. Dude, I don't know this. Yeah. Move back. Move back. Just move. You're in quiz. Everyone should have a page. Is there anybody who does not? Once you are done, just hand it in to me and you can just study. The rest of the block is for study.